So, committed to play at Iowa State University. It gives me great pleasure to present our Junior Player of the Year award to Gutschewski of Elkhorn. Yeah, congratulations. Go ahead and say a few words.
All right. So I don't have a ton to say, but there's a lot of thank yous. Thanks to my parents for driving me around all summer and paying for the golf tournaments and all that stuff. And the grandparents for coming out to watch. And thanks to Coach for everything you've done for me over the past, 4 years now. I still remember when you came to my house and gave me a couple t-shirts. But thank you for that. And thank you to Mount Michael for everything it's done for me over the past 4 years now. It's a pretty cool place and it means a lot to me. And I don't think I'd be where I am now without Mount Michael. And then lastly, thanks to the NGA for putting on these events and stuff. It gives us something to do over the summer, which is awesome. And I think they're the best friend events in the Midwest, and it's great to be around. And just thank you.
Yeah, congratulations.
All right, Luke. So let's just talk about your year a little bit. Obviously you won the junior match play last year, but going into this year, was this part of your goals, and how did you feel about your game going into this year?
Yeah, I felt pretty good about it. I think the thing I was most worried about was competitive rust. Just not playing anything from basically November through, June. So I'd say that's probably the big thing I was worried about. But I guess when I think about it, it probably was one of my goals. I wanted to be the best. I think this kind of fits in with that. So yeah, I guess this is probably one of the big picture goals for the year.
So when your spring season got canceled and everything was kind of up in the air for the summer too, how'd you stay with your game and how'd you keep it sharp?
Yeah, well, it certainly helped. My dad was home. He wasn't out touring, so from that perspective, it was certainly a big help. And then just we were actually at our grandparents' house because our house flooded right before the pandemic started. And they live on a golf course, so it made it a lot easier to get to the golf course every day. But no, it just gave me a lot of time to practice, and that was a huge help for sure.
So after that, kind of get everything going, and you're throwing right into a championship, and I know you probably didn't play as well as you wanted in the junior match play, but I think you were dealing with some injuries. What was going on that week with you?
No, I played really well that first day. Actually, I felt like I played really well at least. And then the first two matches I actually played really well. And then I was driving home, and I got home and I couldn't walk on my left leg, and it wasn't. I thought it would go away, and the next morning it was the same thing, and I kind of hobbled through my match I think it was the quarterfinals. And then I guess I was about 100% that next week for the first time again at the men's match play.
Mm-hmm. Was that good to get back out there and know you were going to be just fine?
For sure, yeah. I think I remember taking a cart that week, and I normally don't take carts when I play in tournaments, for the most part. So I think it was a little bit. I wasn't fully back, but it was certainly nice to be able to be competitive again.
Yeah, and traveling out to Scottsbluff, it's kind of a whole trip and everything. What were your expectations going out there?
Well, the only other time I'd ever been out there was when the junior year was at Kimball. I was like 12 or 13, and we went out there and did that. And we stayed actually at the same house we stayed at for the Scottsbluff for this year. It's right off of number 6 green, kind of back there. So I had actually played the golf course once before. I didn't really have a ton of expectations. I wasn't playing great before we showed up, and I didn't really play great the first couple of days, but it was a fun week, and it was a lot of fun because we were all there, and we were all in the same house. And my sister caddied for me the last 9 holes, and it just made it a really fun couple hours there, last day, I guess.
Mm-hmm. yeah, I mean, you're 4 strokes back going into that final round, I think, and you know, it was a really tough day. It seemed like for scoring, and just from what I've watched you, I think that's when you play your best, is when it's difficult conditions. So, what was it like on that back nine there with your sister on the bag too?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember a ton about that day in general, like the round. I remember there's some really tough pins. I don't know who's in charge of that, but I think people got a little too aggressive to some pins. Certainly I did too, but I feel like I did a good job of managing my way around and letting other people make the mistakes and kind of just hanging in there, just kind of letting it come to me, I guess.
Then moving on to the Nebraska Amateur, you're a low junior, but I think that was the same thing. You were 4 strokes or a few strokes back going into that final round, and then you shoot under par. Like Craig said, 1 or 2 rounds under par that day. Another difficult day. What do you remember about that day?
Yeah, I played that final round with Reed, Malik, and we had just gotten all the cup matches stuff sent out the night before, and we were going to play Firethorn that next day, I think. So we were pretty chatty and pretty excited for all that stuff going on. So I think it was just kind of a pretty loose and carefree round, but it was pretty comfortable pairing, and we had a lot of fun.
Mm-hmm. And then, I mean, it was probably nice to go from there to the Junior Cup and kind of cap your summer off with a really fun event. I know you're one of the leaders of that team. What was that experience like for you?
Oh, it was awesome. Being at Prairie Dunes and staying with the 8 guys and in the cabins, and I don't think there's just experiences like that happen very often. We were pretty lucky. I think it didn't turn out the way we were expecting. I think we weren't maybe as ready as we should have been, but I think it was just a great week, and only good memories come out of that week for sure.
Mm-hmm. Finally, you played against a lot of good junior players, and especially this year too. What does it mean to be named the top player out of those?
Oh, it's great. It means a lot, I guess. It's just it's a cool feeling because we play against them all summer and all year, and a lot of them are good friends at this point because same people since we were 10, 11 years old, and it just feels good. That's about all I got for that, but it's an honor for sure.